Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Jen Baljko, and this is the Fierce Awakened Woman, a gathering of the brave and gentle-hearted who are following their impulses for freedom, returning to the global village to share our unique gifts, and inventing new ways forward for ourselves and for our communities. Let's continue to celebrate our dynamic feminine grace and activate our courageous, grounded masculine so we can all be the fierce, fun, and fantastic you were meant to be. Allow yourself to drop into this session with an open heart, with an open mind. Feel into your sense of awareness. Tap into your inner strength and wisdom. Get ready to leap into your enlightened, embodied, and expressive self as we connect and learn from others who have sparked their own joy journey. As you settle in and tune into what's present today, please join me in welcoming Jennifer Ackad. Let me tell you a little bit about Jennifer. Jennifer is a certified transformation coach, yoga therapist, and a life seeker. Jennifer transitioned from a career in mechanical engineering to follow her calling. She has a pure passion for everything that touches the human being and its potential, its body consciousness, and its awareness. Jennifer allows each one of us to express our natural colors while giving back to others. Jennifer's mentoring programs, which I've had the honor to be part of recently, are intimate containers where women rebirth into a life filled with more power, authenticity, and alignment. One of Jennifer's gifts is the sincere way she accompanies women to create space in their body and in their lives in order to reconnect with the wisdom, truth, and answers they hold inside. She deeply believes that when women reignite their intrinsic value and feel safe to rest in their innate sacred power, they experience life in a much more authentic, fierce, and creative way, embodying their gifts while empowering others. I've been working with Jennifer for a while now. She's helped me cut through the weeds, blocking my creative flow, and has given me tools to work with that help both my divine feminine and my divine masculine to let go of beliefs that no longer serve me and expand my own view of what's possible. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for being here and for sharing your wisdom with us.
Nice.
How are you
Yeah.
today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, Jen. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to share the message together like this.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great honor for me to have you here. And I know in the work that we've done together, just how you've helped me also hold my feminine space, hold my masculine, and really dive into what's possible and see it from a different perspective. So I'm really looking forward to how we can connect other women and other men who might be listening into this space that we play in on a regular basis.
Mhm.
And but of course, I've got to start with how did you go from mechanical engineering to the kind of work you're doing now with the wombs, particularly with the womb space, right? This.
Mm, yeah, the question, the classic question, and it's an enormous path, but it really came from a calling in my heart. And if we go directly to the womb space, let's put it like this: it came from the fact one of the reasons why I jumped was because I couldn't get pregnant, and I was in a masculine world. Mechanical engineering was very masculine, and I can't say I was not enjoying it and liking it. Like, I mean, I love my career as a mechanical engineer. It's just that at one point I hit some kind of wall, and the wall was telling me, listen, like, you're not going to do this until the end of your life. You're not going to be in an 8 to 5 life waiting for retirement until you're 65 or something. There's something else to life. And I had been having this calling even when I was studying in university. I was always telling my friends, listen, I'm doing those studies, but there's something deeper. I can feel it. I have no clue what it is, but something's calling me deeper. And it had a physical sensation that I couldn't name at that moment in my life when I was in late teens, when I was starting university or early 20s. And that calling continued up until I felt that wall and my body could not receive the seed of life. I couldn't get pregnant. And I realized that my pelvis, the womb area, had become more stiffer. There was less energy circulating in there, and with tons of different symptoms coming with this. And when I hit that wall, I told myself, listen, I have the opportunity now. I'm not a mother yet. I have space. I'm receiving the calling. I know I want to be of service to the human being, more closer to the human being. Mechanical engineering was all about projects and machinery and, like, you know, being on the field. And uh, but it was not about warmth and communication and consciousness and seeing the human evolve at a deeper level, which was a huge calling. So I really chose to jump in. It was super scary. I cannot say that it was not a scary move. I was full of fears. I could feel them through, but I chose to jump and my body started opening. I went home, as I love referring. I went inside my body, my temple. I dove in, I learned, I explored meditation, different types of modalities that are part of the containers that I teach right now. But it really taught me how to create space inside my own self and find freedom inside my own self without needing to go and travel or without having to do all the other types of compensation mechanisms that I used to find freedom before. So I found my quest was finding freedom within. And then I ended up getting pregnant, which really connected me to the womb space and to the uterus and to the feminine principle in me that I hadn't been able to tap into before, because pregnancy, carrying life inside your womb, is really the ultimate connection to feminine power, the sense that we are designed physically to receive life. So yeah, so what this experience taught me the most is like creating space inside my womb allowed me to receive that seed and to carry it and to nurture it and to bring it to life. And it taught me how to get out of my own way also, carrying life, which is really at the root of the principles that the containers, the mentoring programs I have are about, because it's about surrendering to life force. When we receive that creative power, it's not about us, it's about receiving that power and delivering and being of service with it without sacrifice, but just, you know, really owning up to who we are deeply. And life doesn't want us to not be ourselves. It will not guide us, but we resist being ourselves because of different conditioning. So that's the shift from engineering, which was very, very rational, very, very tangible, to another world, which is, we can put it in the category of health and well-being and spirituality, which was totally opposite. And I can say that now both aspects are being bridged in the containers that I offer. It's like I can be the engineer, use that aspect. I can be spiritual, I can be space holding. So the whole principle is about being who we are, and it's in our totality. So yeah, I guess we'll enter more into this, but yes, mechanical engineering, that shift, it took courage to jump, and it took a lot of also faith to jump into this unknown. And I know many struggle to jump into the unknown, but if it's really a calling and it's aligned with you, you go for it, and life provides. You will find the right people around you to support you on the journey.
You know, and this is what you're saying now, I think is going to resonate with so many people who are probably now at some sort of inflection point, maybe sparked by COVID or career changes or whatever is happening in life at the moment. And it's so curious to me of your leap from this very rational sort of methodical career into this more where there isn't that same construct, right? So, what was the feeling in your body as you were making this choice, and the feeling in your body now? How has that how has that shifted? Because I think when you're in the day-to-day world of doing your job, going to work, being in a very masculine dominant space, to even feel the texture of this calling or the vibration,
Yeah.
was it an aha moment and just kind of said, okay, it's really growing more and more strong each day that passes? Or was it sort of a gradual plan it out?
Yeah, now we're going back 11 years ago, and the way I remember it, it went very fast. It started a little bit by little bit, and then phew, like a huge window opened that I could not neglect. And the little bits were like, oh wow, I feel tension in my shoulders. Oh, I feel my diaphragm is like squished and I cannot breathe properly. Those were the first symptoms of like, yeah, the breath and the shoulders. I realized that I was kind of stressed at work. Even if I loved my work, there was some kind of stress. And then my body started becoming more sick, physical symptoms like a lot of dizziness, different medical tests and stuff. And actually, this was life trying to tell me, listen, you're starting to not be in an environment that is aligned with your deep soul calling. Something needs to change. It took me about a year from that first moment to realize that this was happening. And then another huge window that opened is when I was traveling in Brazil. And I can, I can categorize this as my first big awakening. Okay, I can put it like this. And it was very simple. I was on the beach in this like very small village up northern Brazil, and something happened and the window opened and I realized there, like, it's like I entered a new frequency. Now I have the vocabulary to name this. I entered a new frequency, and that frequency was showing me my life as it was, and it was showing me the possibility of what it could be. And the clash was that in my regular life, my actual life 11 years ago, I had chosen a very known path. I had chosen a mechanical engineering path, a good career, good money entering, very stable. I was married, and I was traveling, and this was already like big for many people, like that, just taking my backpack and going into the unknown. But it showed me a different way of living, which I had never ever thought about. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I could have not have a career. Maybe I could have not chosen to get married and then follow the thread of getting pregnant and having the family. But before it had never even crossed my mind. But then at that specific moment when that window of frequency happened, it really broke my illusion. It broke, and it gave me what I was longing for, which was freedom. It made me see there is a possibility for more freedom. You don't need to live in those constructs. And then there was no way back for me. It opened my senses, like the senses, the deep perceptions of my body that I think deeper, I knew it, they existed, but then it opened. So meaning I had really, really mystical experiences. Everything got sharpened, my touch, my hearing, my sight, my taste. And I couldn't go back to the office after. I mean, I went back, but listen, I'm not going to go in the details of the experiences, but I mean, trains passing by were amplified like 100 times. The sound was so strong. Everything was super, super sharpened. And it was actually my nervous system being upgraded to receive higher frequencies. But it took me a while. It took me a while. And then my body transformed. And then I entered this new phase of my life. So it went gradual and then poof. And then it became a passion, and I entered this body to get to know it and to learn. I'm like, wow, what is this world that I'm getting access to? There's something else. And being passionate and fierce, like you name calling it, of course I dove in deeply, and like, wow, a whole new world opened for me.
And I think this is where many people might get stuck even, right? Is that they might feel this, they might have some perception of what's going on. But where did you see yourself getting stuck in any of these in this journey, and where you had to say, no, this is really something I need to trust in. This is my awakened moment. Because I feel many of us might get stuck with or fear something, right? There might be some doubt of really owning this experience and leaving behind a career and being open to the invitation that life has given you, right? I like to
Yes.
see it as an invitation of life. And of course, traveling does open your eyes in such a profound way, right? So when you layer all of that experience onto it, there is something courageous about saying, this is the way I'm going, and doing that.
Yes. And you named it. It's really like every milestone of transition, of transformation, were filled by fear. And the fear, it's sometimes I made huge leaps of faith, like the mechanical engineering to really like 3 years of nothingness, you know, that was huge. And sometimes it was more gradual, accompanying the fear and holding space for the fear and like letting it go and then walking each step. So it really depends. But for me, the main places where I got stuck was the fear of losing people that I love, of breaking my roots with the tribes I was involved with or the communities I was involved with. This was more my fear than the unknown. Unknown has always excited me. I was always a backpacker. I always never liked being on the beaten path. The That's how we say that, the beaten tracks, something
Mhm.
like this. But the fears and up until now, every time I have to transition my grief or the fear, of course it's a lot easier now because I got used to the process. But it's always like, maybe there's a way to make this work. Maybe there's a way to transform this ground. Maybe there's like I stay attached a bit. But at one point, the push of life is so strong, it ejects you out. Meaning the frequency and the life force that's calling me becomes so much stronger than the setup that I'm in. I don't even have the choice anymore. This happened in the milestone of leaving mechanical engineering. It happened when I chose to homeschool my son. It happened when I chose to leave my yoga tribe behind, which I stayed in 10 years. Like it, life expelled me out of it. I was so attached. It took me 3 years to get to that point. But whatever the love, the attachment, if you choose life force, if you choose authenticity, if you choose to follow your calling, your purpose, if you choose your soul path, right? All of those names, that freedom, let's put it into freedom because this is part of the theme, right? It takes you. It takes you, and the consequence to not follow this is your energy, your vitality, and your health. And I have paid the price when I chose not to. Like, it happened that those milestones life was pushing, and I resisted so much that it took me years to get back up. So when you know the consequence of not following through your deeper calling, especially when you choose it, but then you follow, you bow, and you just go, and it's exciting. And at the end of the day, and maybe you've heard me share this at one point, at the end of the day, you don't lose. You gain so much that other relationships that you were linked, or the tribes or whatever that I named personally, this was my challenge, they end up evolving with you. Or even if they don't really follow, everything that you have gained ends up being given back to them. Like all the love, all the energy, all the consciousness. So, and that's where the fierceness comes, right?
Well, and whenever you speak, sometimes I see color. Like I see this dance of color and activating
Mm,
this color, right? And really trusting that you can follow this light that shows you a way. And how did you choose, after all your studies, how did you choose to focus on the womb as as a grounding spot? Because
yes.
we start from so many different directions, it's hard to even remember that we need to connect for
I had
women
no
to the
clue.
center.
I, I had no clue about the womb. This was not a vocabulary that I was using back then. But as I named the fact of being pregnant and going through the process of not being able to get pregnant and getting to know my body more, like at that level of the womb, the pelvis, and realizing that when I jumped out and I had more space, my womb carried life, then I became more curious. And the whole pregnancy, I wanted to create space for the baby. So I always had my hands on my womb. I wanted to have I wanted to give birth naturally to the best of my capacity without being attached, but this was my intention. So I was just very intimate with that part of my body. And then I was also in that, mm, it used to be called the engineering of the human body. It was the school, it was actually my yoga school. And I learned that through that, the importance of being connected to the womb and how grounding ourselves was so important to create in this world, to hold space for our babies, whether it's a project or an actual baby. And it really brought me into depth, the depth of my being, like that depth that I named at the beginning. Like, I was craving for this my whole life, and suddenly when I entered that womb space, I was tasting life at the depth I always wanted to. It opened like that, just that mystery. And you know, when you're passionate, you just love strong and intense experiences. And it was strong and intense. And I was learning and I was growing. So I stayed there. And now that's why I'm offering this, and I'm combining with different stuff, because it's not only about the womb, there's the heart, there's vision, but without the womb, um, something is ungrounded. Let me put it like something stays, it's not that it's superficial, it's just not grounded. And the ground and the womb gives so much power to what we create. It gives safety. It makes people feel safe. It makes us feel safe as we transition from one life to another. And we realize that safety is all inside of us, right?
And when we step into this space, when we really can connect with this level, right, or this safety that's really down deep in our bodies, what kind of potential can we open up? Where have you seen women that you're working with, where have they taken their really vague sense of calling or purpose and transformed it into something magical?
Yes. The number one thing that I love witnessing in women, when the second they start entering, is how they connect deeply to their voice, their true voice, the truth that is inside them. So their whole speech starts changing. Their whole way of writing starts changing, of expressing starts changing, and they get clarity. So what is a real yes, what is a real no, becomes clear. It purifies everything. Like, so less and less scatteredness in their lives. They feel. I also see them carrying projects, like like you with the summit. This is something that you wanted to do, so it brings focus. It brings this structure, this consistency of I can do it and I can hold such a project, which is big, right? I've seen women start holding space for their own groups, bringing their own medicine, trusting themselves, uh, you know, trusting that they have the capacity to offer gifts, seeing their own gifts. And now some women are holding women's group too. Uh, I mean, different stuff, right? The monkeys are in the background.
I was going to say, I think you have a bit of a chorus
I have a
singing to us
chorus.
today.
There's a chorus accompanying us. It's beautiful. I've seen them becoming so authentic in their vulnerability, their feminine essence, their sensitivity. Um, I mean, that's really the outcome. And it goes like, I mean, it's a whole transformation process, but it really starts with embodiment. And then it goes into this clarity mode. And then it's about recreating your life. What needs to be left out? What needs to be enhanced? And then appearing in your gifts, appearing in your voice, and then obviously making something for other people if that is their wish. But it really brings them closer to their nature, to their design, who they are for real, and their essence. Yeah.
No, I think, and I so feel that we're on the edge of that, right? Where more and more women and people are going to start waking up to this idea and really looking at these unique talents and unique gifts that want to come to life right now, and how we can recreate all this space. I'm seeing it in the groups that we're working in together, and just seeing how that's coming forth in a way that's really dynamic and difficult, right? It's not easy to give birth to these things and believe that you can
Giving
bring
birth, it is giving birth, right? The process of giving birth is not easy. Many women resist this, and even if we carry life, we still resist it. And even if we become mother, we resist being the mother, right? There's so much beauty, feminine essence. We have been conditioned the opposite in a very masculine way, and to reclaim that feminine essence, to be comfortable in it and not feel threatened in it, is a huge process. And I'm not over. Like, I mean, it's still ongoing. I was very masculine my whole life. I was a tomboy. I grew up like yes, in a masculine way. Let's put it like this. But it's about reclaiming that and balancing with the masculine, because they co-create, right? It's really, we need to honor both sides in ourselves. And yeah, it's just so beautiful work, even if it's difficult. There's some breaks sometimes, and if you love the game, then you're on a game, you're on a roller. It's fun. It's not easy, but it's the passion, the love of the game that makes you continue. And it's, if it's a calling, then it's a calling. You just can't neglect it. If it's not a calling, then it's not a calling. But if it's resonating somewhere, then love is going to come out of it for you, for sure.
And you always put these words around it, like it being play, being a
Mm.
playground, exploring this new place where we can really step into a different energy without it being such a scary choice all the time, right? Like it is not just looking at, okay, what's the cost of not doing this work? It's
Yes.
when is it time to come out and play and be joyful in life? And you always have this great sense of curiosity that you bring
Yeah.
to the space. How does that play together? Curiosity and play and joy. Where how does that all fit in this space?
I mean, I'm gonna go in body sensation for this, because the second we are curious, look at children, look at kids. They are curious, and they play, so their heart is open. They're not stuck so much in the mind and in their thoughts. They just go for it, and they crash and they wait. They get up, or they have sadness. They live their sadness. That's it. It's just in a flow. There's just it's in motion, right? So, and when joyful is not something that we create from the mind. It's something that awakens from feeling. Like, I personally, when I feel my womb and I connect to this vastness of possibilities, it brings joy into me. It's like this blank canvas in front of me. It brings fear and joy, fear and excitement. We're not here to judge the fear. We are here to honor the fear and realize that fear is on top of love. Fear is on top of peace. Fear is on top of joy. And so then we choose. Do we choose fear? Or do we choose this unknown that might be, oof, a little bit edgy at first, but then when you take that first step, a new ground is being set up because you make new choices. It's not about just thinking that life is gonna do it for you. No, you take that masculine action. You take the action when you receive that clarity, and then your life transforms. So it takes that effort, of course.
I
But
always like how you put that together, the feminine flow and the grounding masculine energy that really is there to support us. And I suppose it flips for men also, right? To bring in some of that feminine
men
softness.
live the same. Yeah, it's the same. Like, we are human, so we all have masculine, feminine, and some of us have more masculine, some of us have more feminine, and our human body are designed to receive. Like, it's just how we are physically made. And then essence and spirit is different story, but there's body and there's spirit. So when we start combining both, we start, yeah, receiving what our purpose is and what our design is. Our physical body, it's not for nothing that I chose mechanical engineering. It was a calling when I went. Now I understand that engineering is part of my design, meaning understanding systems, like conceiving, like creating stuff, like all of the engineering aspects, like thinking through something. All of this is part of what I offer now. It's just I'm going back to the root of that. So it's a skill. It's a natural gift. It's something that I'm designed. I can go out of engineering, but the engineer cannot go out of me.
And it speaks so well to how many of us might feel life right now, right? Where we feel
Yes.
like we went
If
in
you're
one direction, that was the right
if
way
you're in
for
a
us.
career, yeah, if you're in a career, if you're an engineer, a teacher, a lawyer, and all those jobs that keep you in the box, maybe you love it and it's perfect and you're being inspired right now. But if you have a calling to change your life, you don't need to leave your you don't need to leave your design. Like, you're just gonna bring this with you and combine it with life experience and create something else, and maybe a more aligned job. You don't even need to be an entrepreneur or something. Like, you can find part-time, for example, which for some years I was going back to engineering and taking part-time work because my fears were big around money stability, for example. So I needed to take 2 days per week or 3 days per week. And you would have told me this like 20 years ago, that it was possible to be an engineer and work 2 days per week. I would have been like, what? I mean, there's no way. But we manifest. When it's aligned, we manifest what we need. Life provides what we need. Yes, maybe we're going off track a bit, but yeah, ask me
No,
the questions you need.
no, but I think it's going to set us up for the practice that you're going to help us tune into today, right? We have a
Sure.
we have a practice that's going to help us begin to play in this space Okay, so Jennifer, I think you're leading us now into a practice where we can connect a little bit more deeply into our womb space and play in a joyful way and start discovering some some of these textures and vibrations that we may not be too attuned to. But before we jump into that, I know you have a gift that you're offering everybody, and it's a 14-day inner safety and grounding practice. Can you tell us a little bit
Mhm.
about that?
Yes, yes, totally. It's really in the principles that were shared just now about the womb and grounding, grounding in the pelvis. So it's a series of 14 videos, about 20 minutes each, guiding for inner safety, inner stability. So this series was created when COVID hit last year, and I really wanted to find a way to support people. So it really brings all the tension into grounding and into safety. So dropping the fear and also activating the womb, relaxing the heart. And it's a series that's going to support you, and you can watch and watch. It's all about the pelvis area.
It's fantastic, and I'm sure it's what we all need, even as we go into 2021. Still, that energy is very present for us.
Yes, the energies are so changing and shifting. Like without this grounding, like one can feel very lost in a vortex. And but life is asking us to shift. So it's very important to find our ground and to find this inner safety and stability. I mean, I don't know how I would go through it without this. It's just so required and such a tool. So
And I'm
yeah.
sure it's beautiful. I'm sure it's a beautiful journey. I'm looking forward to it, doing it again myself. And you can find that
Yeah.
link right next to Jennifer's bio on the speaker's page and enjoy that journey. And in the meantime,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do a short practice that you can
Sure.
work with. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to do today, Jennifer.
Yes, well, yeah, we'll dive into a womb meditation. I'll bring in the codes of Mother Earth and just nurturing the womb so it relaxes and the heart relaxes. We're gonna go for about 10 minutes. Let's see, and it's gonna be about connecting to the body and the sensations of the body. So you can find yourself sitting comfortably, feeling your sit bones on your cushion or your chair. And starting to breathe deeply, really bringing the air inside your body, bringing the air deep down into the pelvic area, the pelvis area. And feeling how the weight of your body is now relaxing onto the ground, onto Mother Earth. Relaxing into this, feeling the weight grounding. You can go back to a natural breath without forcing the inhale nor the exhale, and really opening your body to receive. As the weight drops, another layer starts opening up with curiosity to receive what are the sensations moment after moment. And we'll start by receiving the sensations in the legs, receiving the sensations in the ankles, the knees, the hip joints. And without being attached to any sensations per se, we're welcoming everything that's happening without judgment, without wanting to change. Trusting that surrendering to Mother Earth is going to allow you to receive multiple times nurturing energy coming from the earth. And feeling the pelvic floor, even if you don't feel it physically, know that it's there and that it has a breath of its own. The more you bring attention to that area of the body, the more it feels heard, feels listened to, and it activates inside your own body. Now feeling this sensation entering the uterus, feeling the space that is present just on top of the pelvic floor in the organs, and the volume of the pelvis between the two hips. Feeling the breath, the natural breath, opening the space in the womb. Relaxing the lower part of the spine, allowing the spine to micro adjust as the weight surrenders. Allowing the belly to relax. And dropping the weight of the organs in the abdomen, in the pelvis. Really taking that soft and gentle time with the womb. Receiving the ground, receiving this peace inside, layer by layer. And again, opening up with great curiosity of what is ready to be seen inside of yourself right now. Where would your womb guide you towards right now? And allowing the rest of the body to rest on that, without looking for specific information, but receiving codes, receiving this spaciousness inside of yourself. Allowing this to expand into your being and coming back at the center of the experience. Now releasing the weight of the diaphragm, feeling it go down, up with the breath. Giving that massage to the abdominal area and the thoracic area. And feeling now the beat of the heart, the beat of the lungs, in a very subtle level. So each organ has a pulsation, and it's for us to discover, be very curious about how it moves inside the body, how it breathes. Knowing that the more we connect with those pulsations, the more they let go, the organs let go of the toxins and the compensations that they are hooked on. We go back to truth inside the body. What's real? And now feeling the throat area, receiving the space that is available in the throat. Dropping the jaw, dropping the back of the tongue. You can even open your mouth a little bit. It always helps soften the tissues of the face and also the jaw junctions. It releases the tension that's in there. And also releasing the weight of the arms and the shoulders, letting the body unfold at its own rhythm without pushing it to do anything, but receiving the relaxation in your body. Opening up to what is ready to be seen inside of you. What is that next layer of authenticity and truth? And feeling your heart expanding that experience. Feeling the love of connecting. Feeling the heartbeat. Receiving the heartbeat of our collective right now. The purpose of our meeting, why you are here. Receiving this conversation, receiving this meditation. Something called you here. allowing this to open up for you with great awareness, sincerity, and humility to hear this answer. What is calling you now in your life, on your path? And allow this information to circulate in a very subtle way up the brain, feeling the brain waves, feeling the brain space, receiving the physical sensations in the brain and between the brain and the skull, and allowing this to expand into your being. Expanding about 1 foot up on top of the head, really letting this infuse your being from the center of your body, from the center of that experience. And feel how the breath touches your inner body right now. Feel the difference. Feel what's present. Maybe there's a strong physical sensation. That's the layer that's ready to be seen in your body. Maybe it's comfortable, maybe it's not. But without judgment, receive that sensation and make it know that you see it. Without hiding, allowing it to feel that love of you witnessing, seeing it with great sincerity, wanting to free that part, to access more freedom. Allow yourself to expand into that experience. And now let's revisit our womb. Let's revisit our roots and our sit bones and our hips to ground that experience again. Always visiting our roots to feel safe in the experience of life. Now feel the sensations in the pelvic floor, in the legs. Bringing all this information into your reality, into your next steps in this 3D dimension. What are you choosing to do with that information? Your choice. Allowing your legs to take those steps to actualize your reality and live more freedom in this reality. Honoring this. Let yourselves be touched by that experience, receiving the gifts coming from your own body, your own field, and the collective of women or men that we are right now here, present, making the experience more potent altogether. Receiving the gifts coming from your pelvic floor. Receiving life and receiving yourself. And you can slowly move your fingers, move your toes. And if you have any insights, you can quickly journal. If you have a piece of paper or journal, you can journal your insights and the answers that came through you. If there's something you want to remember to go back and revisit from your body, you can go and reserve some time in your day to go back and be in a dialogue with your body with great love and curiosity, and it will open up to you, giving you more freedom for your reality. It's not only a dream, it can be reality. Many blessings on that. And let us all rise together, as we say. Very important.
Thank you, Jennifer. This was so
Welcome.
so lovely. It's really always fantastic to do meditation with you and to feel that subtle texture. Let me just remind everybody, please go click on Jennifer's link and download and practice her 14-day inner safety and grounding practice, and keep coming back to this space and this practice because it will slowly or very suddenly open something. I can definitely attest to that.
Yes.
But before we sign off, any last words of inspiration or curiosity or joy or fierceness or awakeness that you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I mean, really, what's come is like really bring the love into your journey, whether it's chaos or peaceful or whatever texture you encounter, relationship or challenges. Bring the love of the journey into your life. Remember that love is always what's pushing that journey. Love is always that force behind everything that's happening. It's always, always, always here guiding us. And every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to see ourselves in a more authentic way, to break free from things that are not of service to our path, and at the end of the day, to the path of others. So that's really my word of ending, like really, really trusting that everything that happens in life is being guided by a stronger force that might be invisible, but that is very real also. And it's for us to discover what that is and to tune in through meditation tools like we just did now, or whatever tool you choose. But go for it. Life, we have one life to live, and it's here to be lived fiercely, in love, in collaboration, and yes, showing up, really showing up in our fierceness. If you were attracted to the subject that Jen is presenting here to us, you're here for a reason. It's not for nothing. So use that fierceness that you have inside. It's your birthright, and shine with it. Make those ripple effects on our planet, and we're all going to rise together. I mean, more is being channeled through me right now, but I'll close it here. And yes, let's be in our fire in that together.
Let's
I
do
love
it.
that work, and bless that work for you, and go for it. Yes.
Well, yes.
Yes, I hope.
Say yes to all of that.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
so much, Jen, for inviting me in this series. I really, really resonated right away with the subject that you brought and that you're bringing. We're all aligned on that path, and I'm happy to witness you unfold on that path too. It's really a gift to see you shine on your own path like this, and to have you with us, part of our journeys too. Thank you so much for showing up for our planet.
Oh, well, and thank you for helping guide that path and being one of the sisters who stepped up and helped show me a next step as well. So hopefully together we can all just keep helping each other take the next step, wherever that is in the journey.
Totally.